Wrestling fans, this week's episode is absolutely packed with drama, title changes, and jaw-dropping moments you won't believe. We've covered everything that's set the wrestling world on fire.
First up, CM Punk and Roman Reigns headline Survivor Series WarGames. But did their uneasy alliance actually hold? We're unpacking every shocking twist from WWE's most chaotic match of the year.
Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes is calling this the record era, but what's driving WWE's unprecedented success, and could it be the start of something bigger?
And let's talk Rhea Ripley. She led her team to victory at WarGames. But is her rising dominance starting to create cracks within the women's division? We've got the inside story.
Plus, Gunther proved why he still the ring general, but Damian Priest left a lasting impression after their brutal battle. Who's walking away as the top champion heading into 2024?
Oh, and in our Buried Alive segment, we're putting multi-team tag matches with only 2 legal men under the spotlight. Is it time to finally bury this format for good?
So don't go anywhere. Hit subscribe, grab a seat, and get ready for the hottest takes in pro wrestling. This is the burning truth, and we're just getting started.
Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and this is the burning truth. And as always, I'm joined by a man whose beard has more aura than Santos Escobar. It's Matt Burns, everybody!
Both are very high, though.
Call back for last week. I don't dislike Santos Escobar. I just think he's got no presence.
He's got no aura.
Yeah, he hasn't got that certain je ne sais quoi.
Maybe he needs to put a mask back on.
Maybe that would help.
Maybe.
Put him in a tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah, do something with him, bless him.
Do something with him.
Bless his heart.
And he sucks.
How are you, Matt? You okay?
I'm good. You know, we're a bit sore, got a few bumps and bruises.
Big week, right?
Yeah, big week for wrestling, for, you know, everything. But before we jump into that, how are you as well, Scott?
How are you? I'm okay, you know. Yeah, big week, mate. Big week. Loads going on at work. I've got a course that I'm doing with uni as well, so I've got that going on. I'm a mature student these days, if you believe it.
Mature student.
I'm a mature student. I don't know how they quantify that, but I don't think I'm that old. But yeah, so we had that. We've had a huge weekend wrestling. You know, coming off AEW Full Gear, straight into WWE Survivor Series, loads going on TV. United Wrestling on Friday night in Stoke-on-Trent. We were both there for that.
Yeah, it was, and it's still your fault.
It's still my fault. Some great matches on that card, though. Some great wrestlers. And if you're interested in your local wrestling and you're around the Midlands, Stoke-on-Trent area, get yourself in for United Wrestling. You can find them on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. Yeah, just search United Wrestling Live, Stoke-on-Trent, and we're there. In fact, I think they're actually at stokeontrentvwrestling.co.uk.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, United-wrestling.co.uk as well.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know about that one. So yeah, got a couple of places you can watch them there. But yeah, sore, mate? Sore?
Yeah, a bit sore, a bit bruised. Ego a bit upset.
Yeah. Mine too. Mine too.
It happens. Also managed to, while assisting UKWA for their show, which is happening there.
Oh yeah, you've been out supporting with the advertising drive for those, haven't you?
I have.
They're in Crewe, next Saturday? This Saturday coming?
Yeah, this Saturday
coming. By the time this goes out, yeah?
Definitely. By the time this goes out, it'll be this Saturday, which will be at Coppinall Working Men's Club.
What's the date?
That would be the 7th.
The 7th.
The 7th
Coppinall Working Men's Club.
Yeah, 7th of December.
Is it 6 o'clock, 6:30 open, is it?
Doors open at 6. The show starts at 6:30.
There you go.
So, and believe me, 6 chaotic matches.
Cool. Got any already announced that we can talk about?
Well, it's all on the social media. If we do that, it will almost be an entire segment by itself.
Right, okay.
There's that much matches on there, but hell, I even managed got a bit of a sneaky one. I even managed to get myself a match.
Hey.
But I will say, I am not as prepared for this one. I'm not prepared.
I'm sure you'll be fine, mate. I'm sure you'll be fine. Because you've been wrestling a long time, right?
Yes.
And so nothing's new to you. But what is new this week is...
the news!
So just sit tight, don't blow a fuse, because now it's time for this week's news.
This just in. The news!
The news, yeah. What's in the news this week, Matt Burns?
Well, for this week, we've got the Matt Riddle surprise TNA debut.
What?
Yeah. Former WWE United States Champion Matt Riddle made an unexpected appearance at TNA's Turning Point event, stepping in as a last-minute replacement for Trey Miguel.
Trey Miguel used to be with Wesley and...
Zachary Wentz?
Correct.
Yep, that would be, yeah. Teaming with Kushida and Zachary Wentz, Riddle faced the Hardy Boys and Ace Austin, but ultimately suffered a loss after Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb on Kushida. It's currently unclear whether this marks the beginning of a long tenure for Riddle in TNA, or if it was just a one-off appearance.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Because he's been quiet since leaving WWE. He did a bit in GCW.
He has been doing best. Maybe he's just chilled out.
Yeah, he's been yeah. I mean, if anybody's going to be chilled out, Matt Riddle in RVD on the back of a bus somewhere. Okay, cool. What else is in the news? Cody Rhodes coins this era of WWE the record era due to its current success. So, I think he's done this to highlight the records that WWE are breaking across, various metrics. We're talking sales, we're talking tickets, we're talking social media engagement. This really is WWE breaking record after record after record. And he attributes this success to the leadership of Triple H, Nick Khan, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he's really emphasised the collaborative effort in elevating the brand's prominence. And what he's saying there, it's a really interesting word that he used, collaborate, because that's something that WWE did not do before.
Yeah, which I had picked up on. There seems to be a bit more of a ebb and flow with outside of WWE, instead of it all being just centred, it's got to be WWE only.
No, I still think it's a bit like that, but I'm talking more the collaborative effort within the WWE.
Yeah.
So it's not just one man's vision anymore. It seems to be 3 or 4 different people's visions all coming together to create amazing things within the business.
100%. 100% facts there.
Really, really good. Also, this week we've got a special congratulations to Eric and Sarah Logan, who welcomed their second child. So that's WWE's Eric of the War Raiders and superstar Sarah Logan, most recently known as Valhalla. And they've joyfully announced their birth of their second son, Ezekiel Joseph Rowe, who was born on November 28th. So the couple have been married since December of 2018, and also have an older son named Raymond, who was born in February 2021, which was the last time Sarah Logan was off WWE TV. So congratulations to Eric and Sarah Logan.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, amazing news there. So congratulations to them. We love a wrestling baby. And I suppose the last piece of news from me, I know we've got one more from you, Matt Burns, but the last one from me is the mystery surrounding Jade Cargill's WWE status. So her abrupt removal from WarGames sparked various speculations. She's injured. It's serious. She's not injured. She is injured, but we're keeping it quiet. She's not injured and she'll be back imminently. She's done something backstage to annoy people, and that's why she's been taken off. There's been all sorts of daft reports about Jade Cargill, right? Initial reports suggested legitimate injury. The exact circumstances remain unclear, which has left us as fans and insiders alike questioning the true reason behind this absence. And I'll tell you what I think, Matt Burns, because I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now to you.
I take it you're going down to Theory Corner again.
We're going down to Scott Barrett's Theory Corner. I think this is storyline. And I said this to you in the week, didn't I? But 2002, Shawn Michaels Triple H has got that written all over it, where Shawn Michaels was taken out backstage, nobody knew who it was, and then eventually he's on the Titantron, they've seen the CCTV, it was you, Hunter. And I just think, like, the Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, there's a potential rivalry here, hopefully, coming for WrestleMania, and I see that being one of the big matches on night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania. Not a main event, but certainly a huge grudge match.
Regardless of it, it'd be red hot, and that would be something you must see. 100% factual.
And a launching pad for Jade Cargill, right? Because we had her come in. She took quite a while to get started. We then put her in this tag team with Bianca Belair to protect her, really, while she learnt the WWE style and everything that goes along with that. You know, I know on the podcast previously, you and your previous hosts had talked about Jade Cargill in AEW not being very good in the ring.
Which, now that I sit there and think about it, I don't blame Cargill. I blame the actual product for not actually protecting her.
Yeah, I agree. But now we're in a place where hopefully she's ready to make that step on her own, and a big WrestleMania match against Bianca Belair would be a huge way to do. So that's my theory. I hope she isn't injured, because I think she'll be a huge part of WWE in 2025. If she is injured, you know, speedy recovery, well wishes to her and all the rest of it. But the Bianca Belair still came out with the tag team title at WarGames, which leads me to believe that they aren't stripping it just yet. And even if they aren't, and she is legitimately injured, hopefully they keep the belts on them and just focus more on the other women's titles until they return. Because what that division doesn't need is another vacate.
No, it doesn't. It's been done really way too much. But regardless of it, whether it is or isn't, whatever, the thing that's interesting, I find as well, is the fact that we actually don't know. So anything can happen. Your prediction could be true, might not be true. We don't know.
But for the working man.
Of course. But the point being is, the fact that we don't know actually brings almost, especially in the internet era of, you know, of the times right now, is the fact that because we don't know, we can be surprised.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. We don't know, and we're not used to being surprised in this day and age. So yeah, any more news from you, Matt Beans? I'm sure you've got one more on your
pad. Yeah, definitely. Especially with MJF reviving the AEW Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale.
Oh, okay. I don't know about this. What's this?
Basically, this seems to be like MJF's speciality match, which is he brings back for the Battle Royale for the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
Okay.
Which he's got. Now, each year, it's always around about this time, but he's got the Open Battle Royale set for December 4th edition of Dynamite. This is a unique match featuring, I believe, 12 competitors, with the final 2 battling out one-on-one for the actual Dynamite Diamond Ring, which MJF has held since its inception of 2019.
So is this another championship, Matt Burns? Don't tell me this is another championship.
It sort of is, but it's not.
Is it like the Heritage Cup? It's another championship, isn't it?
It's basically only done once.
Just say yes, it's another championship.
It's another championship.
Oh, kill me now.
I think you almost did that then. But anyway. But the point being is, Adam Cole, baby, and Kyle O'Reilly have already declared themselves as entrants, both seeking retribution against MJF for his past grievances. And
so that's more of this big story. There's more this Adam Cole MJF AEW story that doesn't know when to quit, right?
Exactly. Now, part of me feels as though we just need to it's either going to be Kyle's going to be in the final and going to get pretty much killed by MJF, or we're going to actually have Adam Cole win it, and, you know, we could actually have something different and actually move on. But whether that happens, we'll see. But anyway, I think that's a wrap up for this week on the news.
The news, absolutely.
And
great week for the news.
And of course, let's say this: I've already got the shovel. I've already got the shovel ready.
Yeah, well, that's great that you've got the shovel, but before we even get anywhere near the shovel, I want to talk this week's wrestling.
Of course.
So, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, right?
Yeah.
We're not burying anything on Monday Night Raw this week.
No.
Because it was good. Put your shovel down, Matt Burns.
I've already thrown it!
And this week's Raw, I suppose the main thing I want to talk about is Gunther and Damian Priest's confrontation. So the show kicked off with the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther in the ring. He was reflecting on recent vulnerabilities. Damian Priest interrupted, challenging Gunther's resilience and questioning his ability to handle a guy from the street. Tensions escalated as Gunther struck Priest with a microphone, leading to a brawl that culminated in Priest delivering the razor's edge through the commentary table and standing tall over the World Heavyweight Champion. Massive build for that match.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the biggest storyline in WWE right now, we know what is the WarGames match. That match has been simmering just nicely in the background, and a really good end to the build, if you like, on Monday Night Raw this week. We had the Women's Wargame team selection drama. So backstage, Bianca, Naomi, Rhea deliberated over who the 5th team member should be after Jade Cargill was taken out. And suggestions like Kairi Sane and Bayley were met with hesitation, highlighting the internal team tensions were heating up, if you like. So we weren't quite sure who the 5th woman should be. By the end of the night, I think we were quite sure of who that was going to be for WarGames.
I'm pretty sure we gathered.
Then we had Tornado Tag Team Turmoil, which was the Creed Brothers versus the LWO. So this Tornado Tag Team match was brilliant and exactly what it needed to be because they were all in, which is fantastic.
I think that's the reason why I got something ready just in case. But never mind, I'm a bit early.
Yeah, so the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius, clashed with the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. The action was relentless, I suppose is the word to use. And it featured, Julius had this really impressive superplex on Dragon Lee, which was fantastic. Rey obviously hit the signature 619, but the Creed showcased their power. There was a massive jumping knee on Dragon Lee for a near fall, and the match's chaotic nature kept the audience on the edge of their seats. Really good match, that one.
Yeah.
If you get 5 minutes to put on some TV wrestling this week, go back and watch that one. If you've seen Survivor Series, if not, forget that. Just watch Survivor Series. We then had a video package which recapped Paul Heyman's SmackDown announcement that CM Punk will join Roman Reigns, the Usos and Sami Zayn in the men's WarGames match against Solo Sikoa and his Bloodline. The revelation garnered over 72 million social media views, making it 2024's most viral SmackDown moment. By the way, if even a fraction of that could listen to our podcast, we'd be really appreciative.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So just subscribe, and just do us a favour if you're listening at home. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, please.
We then had Judgment Day's unified front, so Finn Balor rallied the Judgment Day, emphasising the collective strength and predicting victory in their tag team title match against the War Raiders, as well as success for Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley against Rhea Ripley in WarGames. Balor's assertion of unity set a really determined tone for the faction, actually, and you heard it later on after the tag team match, and I'll talk about that probably after that tag team match. But we then got Ludwig Kaiser versus Bron Breakker, which was really good. Breakker received favourable crowd reactions in this one because Ludwig Kaiser is obviously also a heel. And the match highlighted Breakker's athleticism, his power, absolutely formidable competitor.
Yeah, one thing I will say is he's got to have a high pain tolerance for pain.
Oh, that bit when he ran into the commentary table and hit the corner chest first. Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good. And, Raw was really good. I said I'd talk about the tag match with the Judgment Day, actually. So we did get the Judgment Day versus the War Raiders. Yeah. And the Judgment Day did get the win and retain. But it was after the match that was really good. Because after the match, Finn got in the camera's face and said, "We don't have leaders in the Judgment Day. But when you listen to Finn, you win." And it was just a nice moment because he'd done that rallying speech backstage. So, yeah, really good. This episode of Raw masterfully built anticipation for Survivor Series, delivered intense confrontation, strategic analysis, and thrilling in-ring action. The WWE Universe, at this point, really primed. I still call them the WWE Universe. Do they call it that anymore? Is that a Vince McMahonism?
No, I think it's still Universe for now.
Yeah, well, primed for a really good Survivor Series after that Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
I was excited for the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title, the men's WarGame match, the women's WarGame match, or everything that Raw had coming. Gunther and Damian Priest, in a really good place.
Now I know for sure that Scott loves NXT.
I do.
I love NXT. I really do. And do you love the Burning Truth? Of course we do. Then don't miss this week's NXT review and reactions live on YouTube and TikTok at The Burning Truth 251. This week's NXT was pure chaos. Ridge Holland's bold claim for Trick Williams' title led to a massive announcement from Eric Bischoff that's going to change everything at Deadline. The Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers saw Ethan Page and Julia deliver standout performances, punching their tickets to NXT's biggest stage, and the shocking return of Gigi Dolin. Her brutal attack on Fallon Henley left the women's North American title scene in turmoil. Plus, Tony D'Angelo put on a clinic against Shawn Spears, but his reign is still under fire from heated rivals. So what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button on YouTube at The Burning Truth 251. Follow us on TikTok and jump into the live chat as Scott breaks down every match, rivalry and surprise twist. Don't miss it. You need to be seen there.
Great, thanks Matt. And then moving on to WWE SmackDown. So November 29th episode of SmackDown, the final stop before Survivor Series WarGames, and this night was packed with action and drama that set the stage for the weekend's big event. Opening brawl really set the stage for WarGames. So the show opened with Rhea Ripley and her WarGames team, which was Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky and Bayley, following some support on Monday Night Raw. Rallying together despite obvious tensions. Bianca hinted at unanswered questions about Jade Cargill's mysterious attack, but before the team could fully address it, Liv Morgan and her team, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae interrupted. Accusations flew, tempers flared, and the confrontation erupted into a chaotic brawl, giving a preview of the explosive action to come at Survivor Series this weekend. Michin advanced in the women's US title tournament, securing her place in a huge win over Piper Niven and Lash Legend, who replaced Jade Cargill. Chelsea Green's interference nearly derailed Michin's momentum, but BFAB evened the odds, allowing Michin to capitalise and move one step closer to championship gold. So now we've got Bayley, Michin and Chelsea Green all through to the finals of that US title tournament. We then had Shinsuke Nakamura's dominant return, so he came back strong in his first match since April, I think, of this year.
I think it's April.
And a decisive win over Andrade, finishing the match with a Kinshasa. But the drama didn't stop there. The United States champion LA Knight, music hit, ran down to the ring to get revenge really on what happened last week. And as he got to him, got in the ring, about to throw a punch, Shinsuke Nakamura did not even move. He just blew the black mist into LA Knight's face, and it sent a really strong message because LA Knight was down, couldn't see, was begging for somebody to pour water on his face to help clean his eyes. And Shinsuke Nakamura, he didn't hold the title. He didn't even look at LA Knight. He just left the ring and went backstage. I mean,
the mind games.
Mind games. Fire. We then had that match that was hinted at last week, which was Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes after a bit of a backstage to-do. And in a thrilling, it was thrilling actually, non-title match, the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defeated Carmelo Hayes. And Hayes gave a standout performance, you know. I think it was just Cody's experience that proved too much. He landed the crossroads for the victory. The win solidified Cody's momentum heading into the next few weeks and then into Saturday night's main event, where he will now 100% officially face Kevin Owens in the main event, which we didn't get Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series. We absolutely get him main event in Saturday night's main event, and we're all ready for it. And then we had probably one of my calls for match of the year.
Go.
We had Jacob Fatu versus Jey Uso for who gets the advantage at WarGames. Certainly might have been, is definitely a contender for SmackDown match of the year.
Yeah.
And the winner of this got the advantage for WarGames, so the first person to come out, if you like, the team that gets to go first and get the advantage in the match. So the match was physical, back and forth. Fatu's springboard moonsault sealed the win. It's the best moonsault ever. What does he call it? The werewolfiest moonsault ever. The I Love You solo is what I'm going to call it. And the new Bloodline will enter Survivor Series with the numbers edge at WarGames. So the Floodline, as we've been calling them, the fake Bloodline, they're the ones who... Do you know what? I tried to explain this to my wife when we watched Survivor Series last night.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't get this. Why is it Bloodline versus Bloodline? And I said, do you remember the Sugar Babes? And she said, yeah.
Oh.
And I said, well, do you remember how they just kept replacing members until it was completely different people and you didn't even remember any of the OGs? She says, yeah. And I said, well, then do you remember when the OG Sugar Babes tried to come back, but they couldn't use the name Sugar Babes because the other 3 girls were using it? And she was like, oh, those rat beep. That's what she said. And yeah, so Bloodline storylines are a bit like the Sugar Babes storyline. You're welcome for that, in case you're wondering.
But the difference is, oof, both savage. Both savage.
Yeah, one set were definitely better looking. Not of Sugar Babes. I mean, Sugar Babes versus Bloodline. There's definitely a clear winner. So yeah, that was SmackDown. This episode of SmackDown, delivered perfect lead into the Survivor Series for me. Every segment raised the stakes, built anticipation, gave the fans plenty to look forward to, and I think it's time to move on swiftly.
Before you move on swiftly, there was one segment on SmackDown I want to discuss.
Oh, have I missed it out? Go on.
Yes, the sit-down conversation. That sit-down conversation between Roman and CM Punk.
Yeah, another phenomenal. It reminded me a bit of the one before the tag match with Cody and Roman.
Yeah, but it was brilliant because it was like, I don't need you. And it's like, and you got CM Punk just going, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for Paul.
Yeah, and do you know what? I should have started with this, actually. I'm sorry, Matt Burns. You're right to call it out. The main part of this was, I'm doing this as a one-off for you, CM Punk said. For Paul Heyman, not for you, Roman Reigns. And when it's all over, I'm owed a favour. And Roman Reigns said, a favour from me? And CM Punk said, no, a favour from him, our wise man. And and then after CM Punk left and Roman asked Paul Heyman what the favour was, and Paul Heyman smirked and said, we'll talk about it after Survivor Series. And Roman's demeanour was just cold, and Paul Heyman looked
very
sneaky.
Yeah.
Very weaselly.
Planning and plotting.
Absolutely. Paul Heyman's perfect in that role. And yeah, if you didn't get a chance to do anything else this week, just watch that 5-minute segment video of Roman Reigns and CM Punk sitting down and having a chat, because fascinating. Really, really fascinating. But that leads us nicely to Survivor Series.
That it does.
And I tell you why I love Survivor Series so much compared to last week we talked about Full Gear.
Yep.
It's because Survivor Series only had 5 matches, but they all meant something.
Yes. Now, the weird thing about it is, for me personally, yes, it's great throwing in matches, it's great having the time and everything, but they actually did way more with the 5 matches compared to multiple matches that all occurred at once. The fact is, you've got 5 matches where you got pure storytelling. They took the time to tell each story within the match and in the build-up, whereas I feel as though with AEW, they just seem like to just throw everything in.
I knew we were going to get a good main event. I don't know, I'm jumping ahead here. I knew we were going to get a good main event when I looked at the clock, because I didn't watch it live, all of it. I went to bed. I have young kids who were going to be up early,
yes,
and they wanted to watch the Bloodline too. But when I got up and I put it on the network and it tells you how long's left, there was over an hour left when we got to the main event time. Yeah. So I knew we were going to get a good match.
Yeah, definitely. But even so, from start to finish, it felt like there was enough time for everything that needed to be told. And it wasn't rushed.
Yeah. 1000%.
So, with that, shall we have a bit more of a breakdown?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's talk Survivor Series.
Let's talk Survivor Series.
Let's talk. Oh no, I get this. Let the War Games begin!
Yes! WWE Survivor Series 2024 electrified Vancouver's Rogers Arena with high-octane action and, with pivotal moments that set the stage for future storylines. Here's a dynamic breakdown of the night's key events. Now, let's start off with the Women's War Games match. Team Rhea versus Team Liv. The night kicked off with the Women's War Games match featuring Team Rhea, which was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky and Bayley, against Team Liv, which is Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel Rodriguez, and of course Candice LeRae. The brutal encounter culminated when Ripley delivered a top rope riptide to a table to pin Morgan, securing the victory for her team.
Let's talk about Rhea Ripley's mask.
Yes.
So she's been wearing the protective face mask the last few weeks because she's broken her orbital bone.
Yes.
I mean, she stepped it up for WarGames, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like full-on demon headpiece, horns, brown, black face paint underneath.
I was like, that looks amazing.
She did look mint, did she?
I am actually wondering if she is a bit of a gamer, though.
Maybe. But then when Liv Morgan was the last person entered the match, right? No spoilers here. She, well, full spoilers.
Of course.
She finally got into the cage with a baseball bat she's wielding, the same baseball bat that she broke Rhea Ripley's face with. And as she got into the ring, Rhea Ripley's standing toe-to-toe with Liv Morgan, who's got this bat. And Rhea Ripley takes her face mask off. And do you know what? I almost think she looked scarier when she took it off, because then they absolutely collided. Such a fantastic moment.
Yeah. But there was also drama within this match as well, especially when you got Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the
briefcase, which she didn't come out with initially, and I was like, "Oh right, okay, so she's not cashing in tonight."
Oh, definitely not. But all of a sudden it's like,
but then she pulled it out of the trash can mid-match that had been got from under the ring, and then she's doing it as Liv Morgan and Nia Jax are both down, and she's got it in her hands. And luckily, at that point, Raquel Rodriguez came over and said,
"What are you doing?
What are you doing? We're trying to win WarGames." But really nice moment of the match.
I feel like that was the game changer, inadvertently.
Yeah.
I feel as though straight away, because you got Io Sky who had the fire extinguisher, set it off, which then led to Rhea Ripley with the
handcuffing Rhea Ripley to the ropes.
No, handcuffing
Raquel Rodriguez to the ropes,
which all led down to the big finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So straight away,
can I give you my ick from this match? That's right, I have an ick.
I know, because I have a feeling I know what it's going to be. But
well, that's because we talked about it earlier on,
yeah.
But I don't mind saying it on the microphone. So my ick from this match, something I would bury alive from this match, is they all came down to the ring, went straight under the ring looking for weapons, and they all look daft doing it, right? I just feel like in a match like this, if they want to take weapons in, we all know they're going to take weapons in. Why don't they just have the weapons with them and take them down to the ring with them? Why do they need to go under the ring? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that they would go under the ring for weapons that they knew they wanted beforehand. They would just have them ready.
Why not have them preset on the actual cage?
Oh, well, because we're going into TNA territory then.
Oh, good point, yeah. Good point there, good point.
Clockwork Orange House of Fun. Is that what they called it?
That was one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just think, if you're going to come down with weapons, just have the weapons with you. And
I get you. That's not a bad idea. But actually, I'm surprised that we didn't actually have the same ick.
Okay, what was yours?
Mine was very early on.
Okay.
Because we had Bayley and Nia Jax. And at one point, they were in the middle, in the centre, and let's just say this. Bear this in mind, there is a cameraman in the centre. He hasn't got much area to move, and if you're going to be near the camera, zip it a little bit.
Oh, I didn't catch that at all,
No,
took you out of the moment though, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I always think back to John Cena. John Cena is loud.
Oh, no. Wait, do you want to know how much it took me out of it? It elbowed me in the face.
Right, okay.
Just in case if anybody didn't miss that.
Yeah, go back and catch that. Matt Burns has got that happening for you. What was next? So we enjoyed the women's WarGames match though.
Yes.
Overall, we enjoyed it. A couple of high spots. Io Sky's moonsault in the trash can off the top.
The over the moon moonsault with a trash can on your head.
Yeah.
That could have gone so
but
wrong.
In stereo to Tiffany Stratton swantoning from the top of the cage in the other
cage.
Fair dues.
Yeah, fair play to them both, for actually having the stones to do it.
And then that finish, which was the riptide from the top rope through that table that you mentioned.
Brutal.
On Liv Morgan. Brilliant finish.
But what made that even more interesting was the fact that at first, I was like, oh, we're just going to go into it. But then I saw Liv fight out. I was like, No, she's not going to hit Oblivion from there because that's going to... Her
That
face!
would have been good as well, yeah.
Her face!
Her face. Her gorgeous face.
It was one of them, and all of a sudden, just as she pulls, literally, you see it get the attempt, and you just see Rhea just go, no.
Riptide. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, phenomenal match, I thought.
Yeah.
And it finished with the babyfaces all sitting on top of the cage, giving it the big one. But I just wonder where we go from here now.
Now, you mean for the women?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for all of them. So where does Nia Jax, Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton's story go? Where does Bayley, Io Sky, that story go? Because they did look at each other a few times. The damage control Bayley story is far from over. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, where does that go? We got the women's US title tournament coming. We got the women's intercontinental title tournament coming. Got thoughts on all of it. Where does the women go from here?
I feel as though it could be building bridges there.
I just think we're due a couple of big returns in the next month.
Yeah.
2 months. 1st of February. Netflix on Raw, 6th of January.
Changes.
Royal Rumble, 1st of February, a bit later this year. But always up for surprises. I just feel like there's a couple of returns. There's a certain queen. And there's a certain
always in the
man who are, in the periphery. There's also a goddess knocking about somewhere, and let's...
Well, she has been singing.
Yeah, I saw that on The Masked Singer. And there's not just that, there's more than that though, right? Because we're also awaiting returns from Carmella.
Yes.
Who hasn't been around for a long time. Been dealing with, she had a pregnancy, maternity leave, and then issues with a drop foot. Who knows when that will be resolved. So there is a lot of women in the periphery of WWE right now who, who knows?
We're just waiting.
Loads going on. I think we're in a position now where a lot of storylines are finished and there's a few just starting, but there's a few gaps for people.
It's like almost leading into a new year or a new era.
And more than that, leading into that road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What's next, Matt Burns?
Now, right next, we've got the United States Championship. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh my God, did anybody else get this so totally wrong? If you haven't watched our predictions video on YouTube, I got this so totally wrong.
Yeah, well, let me just break it down what happened. In a surprising turn, Shinsuke Nakamura dethroned LA Knight to become the new United States Champion. Nakamura's relentless offense, and highlighted by multiple Kinshasas, overwhelmed Knight, leading to the decisive pinfall and Nakamura's third reign with the title.
Yeah.
But not just that, they actually broke another record as well.
Go on.
Inadvertently, you may not know it, but at Survivor Series in Canada,
Vancouver.
yep,
A title had never changed hands in Vancouver.
especially it's
Yeah, till
it's
last
never
night.
happened.
Do you know what? I remember I clocked that as a... In fact, I might have said the stat to you as like backing up the fact that no, LA Knight's definitely going to win. Titles don't change hands in Vancouver.
Now, believe me when I say this, when I watched it, I thought I got it wrong.
You thought you'd said LA Knight.
I thought I did. And then all of a sudden I went back and I thought to myself, here's when I said, wait, what
did I say?
Hang on, what did I say?
Yeah, you must have been channeling the future, mate, because somebody's helped you out there.
I feel like I must have had an out-of-body experience or something.
Maybe. Yeah, shocking finish, I think. The right thing to do, I think. LA Knight has had a great run.
Yeah.
He's hopefully going to be, final four for the Rumble.
Yep.
He definitely deserves more story. He probably gets a rematch in the next 6 weeks.
Yep.
And Shinsuke Nakamura returning, new character, dominant. He needed the win. He got the win. I think we're in for good storytelling.
And the entrance.
Yeah, I wanted to hate it because I love Shinsuke's original track so much.
You couldn't.
But I couldn't hate it because it's so good.
Not only that.
The whole entrance with the sun behind him and oh yeah.
No, for me, I felt like this was, as much as someone could sit there and say, oh, it's competitive. It was competitive. It didn't feel as competitive as I thought. It felt less competitive. It felt like Shinsuke's mind games had actually worked.
1000%.
And bear in mind that LA Knight, even when he jumped up onto the ringside for his entrance, I have never seen LA Knight drop the US Championship.
Yeah, I don't know if that was planned, but it was a great beat in the story.
It was, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? That's like, was that?
I mean, in truth, just the buttons went as he jumped down.
It could have been, but even so,
it was still great. Yeah, that played into it.
It's almost like, you know, it was almost like that. This is fate.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is happening.
It felt like fate. And do you know what? It wasn't just this match. You know, when we're talking about secondary titles, the other secondary title match, which I'm sure we're getting to now,
definitely
phenomenal as well.
The IC, the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match.
The workers' belt.
Yep, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, banger!
After banger, after banger.
He stole my gimmick.
Of course he did. Oh, definitely. But I will say this: with the IC Championship on the line, Braun Breaker defended against both Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser in a match filled with near falls and high impact maneuvers. Breaker showcased his resilience. You know, he basically showed why he is the rightful owner of that championship and ultimately retaining it after a hard-fought battle.
Yeah, totally. Show-stealing match, this.
Oh, definitely. And I will say, I honestly thought Sheamus at one point won it.
Yeah.
You know, straight up, as soon as Sheamus hit the broker,
yeah,
and I'm like, there's no one.
Is this where Kaiser pulls the ref out?
Oh yeah, I was like, oh God, there's no one here. What's going on?
Yeah.
1, 2, whoop! There goes the referee.
And we said before, didn't we? If you didn't get the predictions, get on our predictions video on YouTube. But we said that it felt too early for Breaker to drop it.
Yeah.
But equally, this was sensational. I can't think of an AEW match at Full Gear that was as good as this.
Oh,
I don't know if you can. I can't.
It's a great triple threat.
Fantastic,
especially, even though I will say, even Sheamus's sort of lead up to the bro kick, his what's he called it, the kneecap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, his brogue knee.
Yeah, but then again, you know, you got Braun Breaker. How quick can he hit that spear?
He's so quick. It hurts how quick he is.
It's. I can honestly say I've seen many spears, but that is just, you know, brutal.
Absolutely, he's unreal. He's a freak in the best way.
I'll say this: if he ever gets appears in Mortal Kombat, that is going to be the fatality. That's going to be the fatality. Just
gotta be, isn't it? And then from one championship on Raw to the World Championship on Raw.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Damian Priest. You know, we got Gunther continuing his dominant run by successfully defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest. The Ring General, you know, his prowess, his strategy, and hard-hitting style proved to be too much for Priest, who was, despite a valiant effort, fell to Gunther's devastating offense. But at the same time,
I think you've exaggerated there, Matt Burns. I'm gonna throw a flag on that.
No. I was going to say it myself.
Okay.
I was going to say it, and this is the reason why. And as much as I can sit there and say it, I feel it's been tainted.
Yeah.
It's been tainted because of two things that happened. I feel as though something that was just complete fluke, but then we had somebody's involvement.
And he said, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he least expects it, when he thinks it's all over with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor would be there to crush his dreams.
Yeah.
And Finn Balor was there to make sure Damian Priest didn't win the championship. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But there was a little bit of a nice touch here as well, I thought. Gunther's reaction to the situation.
Oh, yeah, because Gunther takes Finn Balor out.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Which was phenomenal, wasn't it?
At first, I thought to myself, oh, he's going to be lapping it up, not rage at Balor. Absolutely belting him, and I'm like, ooh, hang on.
Yeah. But even so, a dominant win for Gunther, and he can move on now to whoever his next challenge is going to be, right?
It is, but I feel as though this might have hinted at something again, which I might have inadvertently coined on the predictions. The fact that, you know, when I said they humanised him a little bit, the fact that he actually got enraged by Finn being involved. Now, most villains would have just taken the advantage, wouldn't they? Not be enraged by that situation and strike.
I suppose my big question here, though, Matt Burns, is who's next for Gunther?
That's what I'm actually wondering. Could we even have Finn even trying to consider taking on
Triple threat?
Gunther?
There's a big triple threat there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But equally, I think that grudge match, does it need Gunther? I don't know. Is there anybody else on Monday Night Raw who deserves a WWE title match? A world title match, rather. Monday Night Raw is difficult.
Yeah.
Could Jey Uso challenge?
Again, possibly. It's a possible, but I don't know why. But a part of me is wondering, could it be a face challenger?
Well, just like we've got women ready to return, mate, we've also got men ready to return. And there's a Scottish warrior who's imminently going to be back on TV. I would love to see Gunther and Drew McIntyre.
That's what I'm saying. And straight away, when that happens, who's going to be the actual goodie?
Yeah, who knows? Who's the villain at that point? Who knows? Shall we move on to the main event? This is what everybody's waiting for.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to hear us talk Bloodline versus Floodline.
Wait. I believe as Regal actually said on the night, it is now time for the men's WarGames match.
Is that what he says?
Oh, no. Straight away, for me, we've got the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, or as we say, the Floodline. Now, this main event featured a clash between the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, with an additional CM Punk, and the new Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. Tensions ran high, especially when Reigns and Punk, who had to overcome internal friction between each other. The turning point came when Reigns accidentally speared Punk, but they managed to regroup. Punk later saving Reigns from a top, well, I wouldn't say top rope, I'd say top of the cage splash. Well, no. Top of the cage tsunami!
That was unreal.
From Reed.
Talk about wow factor.
Yeah, leading to a united front that secured the victory for the OG Bloodline.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The whole thing, start to finish, was... You need an hour if you want to watch this, is what I'll say first. But from start to finish, this match was phenomenal.
For me, I'm just going to say this, just for this moment, please take 1 hour to watch this match. This is the match to watch, right now, this week. Highly recommend.
And I know you covered a few... Oh, yeah, 1,000%. I know you covered a few bits there in your spiel. But we had, from the very beginning where we had the entrances, we had all the Floodline entered together. Yeah. The Bloodline entered separately. Roman Reigns didn't come out last. CM Punk didn't come out last. Jey Uso came out last. Had his big entrance in front of the crowd. Got in the ring to start the match. We had a bit of tension when Roman Reigns stopped CM Punk from going out and sent Sami first. We then had Roman Reigns about to go out and CM Punk barging past him to go out first. We had, within the match, we had Roman Reigns accidentally spearing CM Punk.
We also even got the actual, WarGames door being locked.
Yeah, we got them locking Roman Reigns out, yeah. And him having to climb over the cage to get in and then dive from the top rope onto the entire Floodline. We then had CM Punk, even though he'd been speared by Roman Reigns, we had him save Roman Reigns from being tsunamied through that table. And then to finish the match, we had super kicks, double super kick, haluva kick, go to sleep, and a spear to finish Solo Sikoa and let Roman Reigns get the pin. What a phenomenal match. It had everything except a surprise. And maybe the surprise of the main event for Survivor Series was that there was no surprise.
Yeah. Well, we even had a wise man even make an appearance.
Yeah, we now need to know. The question following this is, you always want to keep them wanting more, right?
Yeah.
And we want more right now because now we need to know what that favour is.
What is that?
The whole world wants to know what favour does Paul Heyman owe CM Punk.
Yeah. What's that favour? And especially seeing as he come out to hug the wise man. Remember, we've always owed each other. Another one for the working man. But of course, he always says, we always owe each other. But remember, just remember, you owe me that favour. You shall have it when you call for it. Now, this to me is so open. That's so open-ended.
Yeah.
Now the question is has he asked for the favour, or is the favour it can be anything?
And that's it. Do we even know what the favour is?
Exactly.
The question is though, Matt Burns. People want to know what the favour is. What I want to know is how many bangers would you give Survivor Series?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I know some might skyrocket it, some might a bit lower. Me, I thought it was 4.
4. I would have said 3. So 3.5 bangers out of 5 between us isn't bad. The reason I only give it 3 is because the women's WarGame match could have been a lot better. It was okay, but there was a lot of times, there was a lot of waiting around in between entrances in the women's WarGames match. Also, the thing where they keep going under the ring for stuff, like, proper takes me out at the moment. The Intercontinental title, the World Heavyweight Championship matches, they were all fantastic. US title was a really interesting story. But for me, I think 3, I just think, has it been as good as some of the top PLEs of the year? Not quite. And maybe, actually, thinking back, for a lot of these events, we've talked about crowd interaction and how good they've been.
Yeah.
When they were in France and the place was rocking.
Yeah.
When they were in WWE this year when they were in the UK this year for
Clash at the Castle?
Clash at the Castle, the crowd rocking. Berlin, crowd was absolutely rocking. Even those Crown Jewel and Saudi Arabia pay-per-views, the crowd was rocking. And this one in Vancouver felt a little bit flat compared to, and maybe that's what took it out, took me out at the moment. But yeah, so for me, 3 out of 5 for you, 4 out of 5, 3.5 bangers out of 5. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Solid.
That's fair.
Solid.
Considering we didn't have the WWE Champion on it, I think that's good.
Exactly, that's what I mean. But I feel as though at the same time, with it, for me, I feel as though we had one less championship on there, which it didn't need it, because we had such good storytelling. And I feel as though we've got like a bit of a more of a special one for the other main championship coming up in the future.
Saturday night's main event, yeah.
Exactly, which was a nice little break-up for it. So, it's almost like a two-parter.
Right, Matt Burns, I think it's time to go to a break. And while the breaks are playing, you can go and find that shovel that you chucked away.
Yeah, pretty much. On the way. Now, before we dive back into all the WWE drama, let's talk about making sure your holiday style is undeniable this year. If you want to be the tribal chief of your Christmas party, or the one who says, "You can see me," because you are that stylish and profiling, you need the Burning Truth Christmas Jumper 2024.
Oh yes, this jumper is as snug as Gunther's sleeper hold and as sharp as a crossroads, and guaranteed to make you the people's champion of your Christmas celebrations. Whether you're looking to acknowledge your holiday dominance or just stay warm like a true ring general, don't wait, because this is a limited run.
The link is in the description below, or check out our website at theburningtruthuk.com to grab yours before it's counted out. Celebrate the holidays in championship style.
Ooh yeah, the cream rises to the top. Hello friends, are you enjoying the Burning Truth Live so far? Well, I hope you are, because we're working bloody hard to make it as good as we can. But what we need is your help, and we need your help by subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review. You do not know how much it will help the podcast if you can do that for us. It'll help us spread the word, help us grow the community, and more than anything, it'll help us keep providing amazing wrestling content like we are right now. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get back to the show. But please, please, please rate and review and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Buried alive, always say goodbye. Things we can't stand not today. Locked and gone in the ground, never to make another sound. It's buried alive.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for Buried Alive.
Gong. Sorry, gong. So this is Buried Alive. This is wrestling's equivalent to Room 101, which means we take anything, storyline, angle, match, character, anything you like from the world of professional wrestling, and we decide whether it should be buried alive for all time, never to see the light of day again.
Now, before it gets announced, I'm just going to make one thing clear. You're going to have to do it, because if I start, it'll turn into incoherent babble and I'll just rage.
So normally what we do with Buried Alive is we pick something that's been suggested by one of you, our audience, either through the comments, emails, reviews, anything that you send to us. However, this week, I personally had something that really grinds my gears. Do you know what really grinds my gears? Is this, right? And it is multi-man tag team matches with only 2 legal men in the ring at any one time. And what I mean by that is maybe you've got 2 versus 2 versus 2, but there's only 2 wrestlers legal in the ring at any one time, which means there's a whole tag team stood on a corner who can't do anything.
Basically, they can't do anything. They can't get involved in a match, and if they do, they could, well, technically...
Yeah, there's no logic to it, right? So, and I don't want to just throw out something that I hate without a suggestion of how to fix it, right? So, there are 2 alternatives to doing this. You could either, to make it better, do a 2 versus 2 versus 2 and have a 1 versus 1 versus 1, all legal. So have one person from each team legal in the ring at any one time.
Yep.
Or you could do tornado tag rules.
Yeah.
That's what you could do. And that would make everything flow so much better. And I know then it's a bit of a schmoz, but actually it makes a lot more sense to the audience than this only 2 people in the ring thing does. And we've seen it quite a lot recently, and that's why I wanted to call it out, because it's absolute trash.
It is, because for me personally, I feel as though if there's only 2 individuals in, what happens to that third team? How did they get involved? If you're the 2 active ones that are in the ring, all you've got to do is avoid one corner. Absolutely.
And I get the fact that it maybe can turn into a bit of a schmoz or a cluster, as they might call it in the biz, but I still think it's too confusing. And what do I always say on the podcast, Matt Bins?
If you confuse them, you lose them.
And I've stolen that from another well-known podcast. However, it tracks, right? It's very true. And that's why this week, short and sweet, Matt Beans, but I think we're both ready to bury this alive.
Oh, yeah.
Get the shovel.
That's why I think I was so eager to grab the shovel. It needs to go in.
Let's get it buried. And if you want to suggest something that we should bury alive in our Room 101 Buried Alive equivalent, then you can email us at info@theburningtruthuk.com, or leave us a comment, review, or send us a tweet or an X or a twext.
I know.
At TBT Live UK. And that's where you can find us. But for now, that was Buried Alive. There's no big debate this week, so I think it's about time that Matt Burns gives us a top 3. Do you love NXT?
Yeah.
Do you hate that we don't talk about it on the podcast?
Hell yeah, what's up with that?
Well, you can catch all the NXT action live on our YouTube streams every week if you subscribe at The Burning Truth 251 on YouTube and listen to me, Scott, and I'm talking all things NXT every week on a Wednesday. See you there. And we're back for Do the Top 3 with Matt Burns this week. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I'm ready.
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
So this week's top 3, Matt Burns, we ask you to give us the top 3 of any chosen category. It's my turn to ask you your top 3. And this week I've decided to give you something quite easy, I think, but easy to think of answers, but controversial to who you'll pick, because there are so many right answers for this. And I hope we get loads of comments back saying how wrong you are.
That's going to happen.
So, this week, I would like to know your top 3 active WWE women's wrestlers. So, active as of the 1st of December, 2025.
Oh, no.
2024. Just kidding.
I had to pause there. I was like, But anyway, no. Easy. Got this in the bag. I've got me 3 already.
Okay, well, let's start at number 3 and work our way up to number 1.
Number 3. It is the EST.
Oh,
of
nice.
The WWE.
Good choice.
Bianca Belair. Solid worker. Great performer. Can be a main champion. Can be a tag champion. Can fit anywhere. Do any sort of match. Can be support. Can be mainline. Honestly, they can pretty much do anything.
Do you know what's interesting about Bianca Belair? Is she hasn't actually been in WWE all that long. She's actually my age.
Yeah.
By about a month. I think she's about a month older than me. She hasn't actually been in WWE all that long. So I'm just getting up a Wikipedia here. And it says she was signed to WWE in April 2016.
Yeah.
She feels like a veteran.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on the main roster that long, but she feels like a veteran. I think that's probably down to the 420-day reign she had as Raw Women's Champion.
Yep.
You know, that absolutely fantastic championship match against Sasha Banks on WrestleMania Night 1 in 2021.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal worker. Easily somebody else's number 1, Matt Burns, I think.
Easily. So already, I might have already upset somebody.
Oh, definitely.
But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Now, so some, even though what I'm about to say, they may sit there saying, why aren't they number 1? Especially with the words you're about to say. Many could say they are the MVP of 2024.
I would say this.
You would say this?
I would.
Right, okay. Now, this has got to be Liv Morgan. For me.
Yeah.
I think she has been absolutely fantastic in what she's done.
Yeah.
I think what's been so nice about this time around, it's the fact that WWE actually flipped that switch from being goody two shoes into a villainous role.
Yeah.
And
she's a good looking girl, right?
her vengeance tour.
Yeah. She's a good looking girl, right?
Of course.
Yeah, she's beautiful. And she knows it.
Yeah.
Which is what's so good about a heel character, is because a heel character knows that she could steal any man from any woman, and she plays that off really well. Because that's what she did with Dominic.
Oh, yeah.
And she plays that role so well. Yeah, phenomenal worker. Really found the character. She'd be my number 1, must say.
Oh, definitely. And I feel as though compared to what she was doing with the previous gimmicks and everything, WWE didn't exactly let her be what she needed to be.
She feels like a real person now, as opposed to playing a character.
Spot on. Are you in my head?
Yeah, sometimes. Scary.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Because just don't open the wrong door. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the point being is, for me,
Delete your internet history.
it gets flushed out every day. There you go. But anyway, point being is, Liv has been absolutely phenomenal for me.
Huge.
Absolutely phenomenal.
She would be my number 1, and that's why we discussed the other week about Liv Morgan being the MVP of this year for me. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I put her at number 2, because you had to convince me.
I did, because you've got one that you like more.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you're going to have to tell everyone at home who it is.
For me, it hits actually Liv's polar opposite, who she's been up against.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley. Now, for me, she has dominated the women's division because she went through that massive reign, and she carried the entire. It felt like she carried an entire division. Then, when it went to her home country with her big events, she was literally showcasing her way, her style, her entrance, everything, her demeanor. She's literally, genuinely, if it wasn't for the fact of the whole Judgment Day at the beginning, the fact that you got Edge and Damian Priest, who saw something, picked her out, and it feels as though she's now, again, herself. She's not playing just a character. She's being herself.
Feels like a real person.
Yeah, and it's something you can be very relatable to.
Yeah.
And then we've got this whole back and forth with Liv, and it's, as I said, it's elevated Liv, the fact of, but at the same time, to have such a polar opposite, where Rhea's been so villainous, right, but then Liv's coming a certain way, managed to turn Rhea into a relatable, very relatable face, and at the same time, the way she's reacted to Liv, anybody who was in Rhea's position would be enraged.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you. I think that's a great 3, Matt Burns. And I've been saying it on the NXT reviews for the last few weeks that I believe NXT have got the best women's division in wrestling right now. And I believe that, honestly. Because
straight away, even if they aren't the now, they are the future.
100%. But when I think about WWE's main roster, the reason it isn't the best women's roster in wrestling right now is because we're a few names missing.
Yeah, but
we're only a few names missing. When we've got characters like Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, I almost feel okay with it.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I'm going to even give out a bit of a mention here.
Honourable mention.
An honourable mention, because in the past, on The Burning Truth, we have said, we've gone, no, don't like this person.
Pre-regeneration.
Yeah, pre-regeneration, where we sit there saying dangerous and everything, but they've managed to find themselves, again, no longer just playing a character.
Yeah.
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax has had an amazing year.
Yeah.
Queen of the Ring, WWE Women's Champion.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think, she's had a quality year.
She's an absolute quality, and also shown sides, especially with Tiffany Stratton, showcasing that she's not just mean.
Yeah, there's definitely some. There's been some acting. Really showed her acting chops this year with Tiffany Stratton, and I think that's really helped her be a credible character.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's actually acting. I actually think that's Nia Jax just being herself.
Hey, listen, either way it works, right?
Definitely.
So that was top 3.
That was
well
top
done,
3.
Matt Burns. Just to recap then, we got top 3. We got honourable mention for Nia Jax. We got 3, Bianca Belair. We got 2, Liv Morgan. We got 1, Rhea Ripley. That was Matt Burns' top 3 WWE women's active wrestlers.
That it was, and I take it you got your pad and pen.
I'm ready to go.
However, normally we say it's time for rebook this, but
for the second week in a row,
it's now time for pre-book this. On this week's segment of Cheap Plugs with Matt Burns, we are going to be once again highly recommending That Wrestling Show. The one that has our friends talking about wrestling on the radio at Black Country Radio Extra. We've given you the links, we've given you the social media. We recommend you check them out, please. Highly, highly recommend. And as I've previously said, it is not exactly like that episode of That 70s Show. So do not get them mixed up. Yes, the 70s Show had That Wrestling Show as an episode with The Rock in it. But this is a weekly episodic radio show that we highly recommend. And, of course, as we've already previously mentioned on this episode already, this Saturday we have got UKWA Christmas Chaos that will be happening at Coppenhall Working Men's Club on the 7th of December, and we highly recommend that you get there because there is jam-packed action there, and doors open at 6 and show starts at 6:30, and all it is £6 for a single ticket or £20 for 4, and that is a good deal. And bear in mind that there is, at the very least, 6 matches that have officially been announced on social media. So if you're interested or want to know what the matches are, please check them out on their social media or their website. But to get your tickets for it, you can either get them from the bar at the venue, or you can order them through the website as well. But also, tickets will be available on the door. And that has been this week's Cheap Plugs with Matt Burns.
Who trusted these guys with the book? It's rebook this. Larry Scott, it's rebook this. Take a shot, it's rebook this. Rebook this.
Right, it's now time for Rebook This. Check that again. It is now time for Pre-Book This with Scott Barrett.
Yeah, pre-book this, baby. You gave me this last week, so why don't you tell everybody what I'm doing?
Well,
what the challenge was.
It wasn't officially done on the episode last week. I actually told you during the week.
Yes, true.
If I'm not mistaken. Because I felt as though, because you gave me a pre-book this the previous week, I thought I'd return the favour. But as soon as I told it you, I saw your face glow up.
I knew exactly what to do with this. I was so happy.
Now, in case everybody's wondering what the pre-book challenge is, I actually asked Scott to pre-book the Women's United States Championship.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this. So I've decided, in my infinite wisdom, to book maybe the first 4 or 5 months of the United States Championship. So we're going to go from the tournament at Saturday night's main event all the way through to WrestleMania, because I felt like that was the right thing to do. So I've titled this The Story of Chelsea Green and the WWE Women's United States Championship. Chapter 1. The Cinderella Moment. The tournament finals. Right now we are midway through a United States Championship tournament. Chelsea Green, Bayley, Naomi and one other person are going through. For the Meacham and one other. For the sake of this, we'll say Naomi is the 4th person through to the finals. And we'll say that Naomi beats Meacham and Chelsea Green beats Bayley. Right? We'll say that Chelsea Green looks like she's going to get defeated by Bayley and rolls her up last minute for the 1-2-3. Bayley's frustrated that she's lost, but also recognises that she was beaten cleanly and therefore is frustrated but not angry, and begrudgingly shows respect to Chelsea Green, says well done and disappears. Chelsea Green through to the finals against Naomi. And Chelsea Green shocks the world by defeating Naomi clean with the unprettier to become the inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion after weeks of build-up and after a full night of playing the underdog, really. And the crowd is behind Chelsea Green because she's done it properly, but also I think everybody kind of wants it for her, and you can feel that in the crowd at Saturday night's main event. She celebrates emotionally, overwhelmed. There's a bit of crying. Yeah, she's really, happy with the achievement. It's Tiffy time! And out comes Tiffany Stratton, cutting Chelsea's celebration short. Because we know, historically, now, that the Money in the Bank can be used on any championship in WWE. And what a better way to get Tiffany out of the mess of having to challenge Nia Jax than to challenge for a different championship on the same show. Stratton sprints to the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Despite Chelsea's best efforts, she's no match for a fresh Tiffy, who lands the prettiest moonsault ever and steals the championship at the end of the match. Tiffy then gloats as Chelsea, heartbroken, sits in the ring, clutching her stomach, and the crowd is rallying behind her as the true hero of the moment, but is absolutely gutted that Tiffy, the bully, has come down and taken the championship from her. That's chapter 1.
What?
Do you see what we've done there, though? So what we've done is we've taken Chelsea Green and we've turned a babyface over one night. We let her win clean, right? We let the babyface Bayley show respect to her. She beat Naomi clean. We've then ripped it away from her. We've ripped that moment from her and made her really sympathetic to the crowd. In one night, Chelsea Green becomes one of the biggest babyfaces in the business.
Not only that, but you just potentially turn somebody who could possibly turn.
Oh, we've doubled down on Tiffy being a heel.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's literally just gone. We did tease you, but no.
And this is the story of how we make Tiffy into an abysmal, bullying human being. Chapter 2, The Path of Resilience. So, Chelsea's road to redemption. Chelsea cuts a heartfelt promo on SmackDown. She reflects on her brief title reign. 3 minutes.
Oh.
She vows to earn her way back and prove that her victory wasn't a fluke. And the fans began rallying behind her as a resilient underdog. She's now the underdog, Chelsea Green. She enters the Royal Rumble match, bat 15, and puts on an impressive showing, eliminating multiple competitors and lasting deep into the match. Tiffy enters later at number 27, and she avoids Chelsea at first, playing some mind games, but in a heated moment, Chelsea eliminates Tiffy, earning a massive pop from the crowd. Bitter retribution. Tiffy, furious, re-enters the ring illegally, blindsides Chelsea, tosses her over the top rope and screams at Chelsea, "You'll never make it to WrestleMania," as officials escort her out. Commentary emphasise Tiffy's desperation to keep Chelsea out of the spotlight. Tiffy shouting things like, "You'll never be as good as us. You'll never be a true superstar. You're worthless." Things like that.
Oh. So, like, it's not Green time, it's Tiffy time.
Chapter 3, Tiffy's Reign of Terror. Chelsea expresses heartbreak over losing a WrestleMania title shot from WrestleMania, but she vows to focus on reclaiming the United States Championship. Tiffy, however, continues to torment her, ensuring Chelsea's road to redemption is fraught with obstacles. Over different weeks, we've got things like Tiffy hiding Chelsea's luggage before a match, forcing her to scramble for her gear. And despite the distraction, Chelsea still manages to pick up the win against, I don't know, let's pick somebody at random. B-Fab. Week 2, Tiffy sabotages Chelsea's car in the parking lot, leaving her stranded. A backstage interview captures Tiffy's mocking the sympathy, saying things like, "Poor Chelsea, always getting left behind," as she drives past her in the parking lot after slashing her tyres. Week 3, Tiffy interferes in one of Chelsea's matches, costing her a victory, blindsides Chelsea after the match, hitting her with the United States Championship belt and posing over her, again screaming things at her like, "You're not worthy, you're worthless, you're not as good as us, you don't belong here."
Oh.
And at that point, probably week 4 of this, Nick Aldis steps in. And after weeks of chaos, he announces that Tiffy's actions have gone too far, and he grants Chelsea a rightful rematch for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 41, setting up that long-awaited showdown. We've still got a way to go. Part of that promo as well is probably that Chelsea isn't in the Elimination Chamber match, whatever that would be, for the women's title.
Probably due to interference from...
Exactly. And at that point he says, you might not be in the Elimination Chamber match. However, at
WrestleMania,
you're going to be facing such and such for the United States title. And then that's where we escalate. So Chelsea speaks from the heart in the next week, reigniting the feud and recounting how Tiffy's bullying has reignited her passion and determination. "You may have taken my championship, my Royal Rumble dream, and even my dignity, but you'll never take my heart and my spirit." Tiffy dismisses Chelsea's journey, calling her the ultimate loser and claiming that the title belongs to someone who looks, acts and wins like a star. "You're just not championship material, Chelsea. You're just a charity case."
Oh!
And then we've got a few more weeks before the before WrestleMania. So week 1, Chelsea ambushes Tiffany backstage, finally fighting back and throwing her into the equipment crates. Officials separate them and Chelsea shouts, "You can run, but you can't run from me forever." Tiffany retaliates the next week during a match, putting Chelsea through the announce table with a moonsault from the barricade. Yeah, do you like that? I like that. I couldn't help but put that in. And then the next week, a heated contract signing ends with Tiffy flipping the table and Chelsea about to storm out, but flipping the script by slapping Tiffy and standing tall, holding the title above her head. And then the final SmackDown before WrestleMania, the final brawl sees Chelsea hit the unprettier on Tiffy, leaving her laid out in the ring. Chelsea picks up the United States Championship, signalling her determination to reclaim it on the grandest stage. 2 weeks in a row there, Chelsea's ended up holding the United States Championship over her head. And that brings us to Chapter 5, WrestleMania 41. Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton for the United States Championship match. So the match has been billed as the culmination of Chelsea's redemption arc. Commentary team frames the journey from inaugural champion to bullied underdog, now poised to reclaim her title and her dignity. Tiffany is positioned as the arrogant champion who believes Chelsea is unworthy of the spotlight. In the match, Chelsea explodes out of the gate, catching Tiffy off guard with her aggression, hits some signature moves, forcing Tiffy to retreat to the outside. We then get Tiffany slowing the pace, targeting Chelsea's previously injured midsection from that moonsault through the table and taunting her throughout the match. Loads of those things she's been doing over the last few months. You're not worthy, you're a charity case. And you can hear it as she's doing it. Both women came close to victory. Tiffany hits the prettiest moonsault ever, but Chelsea gets a foot on the ropes. Chelsea counters a Tiffy finisher into a roll-up for a dramatic 2 count. And after surviving Tiffany's underhanded tactics, what I mean by that is trying to hit her with the championship, Chelsea mounts a thrilling comeback. She counters Tiffany's moonsault attempt, hitting a top rope unprettier for the decisive pinfall victory. Chelsea collapses in relief and joy as the crowd erupts. She clutches the new United States Championship. Overwhelmed by the moment, fans cheer for Chelsea, her hard-fought redemption, as she celebrates with tears streaming down her face. Look at you, you're dead happy she's won.
Of course I am. Why would I?
And then, I was thinking about what happens after WrestleMania. So following WrestleMania, Chelsea's victory probably cements her as one of the top baby faces for the women's roster. The reign focuses on proving herself as a fighting champion, defending against all challengers, stepping out of the shadow, of the underdog persona, probably eventually loses to a new heel. Maybe Bianca turns after she's finished with Cargill. Maybe Cargill turns after she's finished with Bianca, takes that title. But to begin with, she's maybe taking on people like Candice LeRae and defending and getting a couple of easy wins before then she loses to a big heel.
Good, solid.
Tiffany's next steps, furious at the loss, she shifts her focus to regaining the title. Maybe she gets drafted to the other show, goes after another title. Maybe she's got something else in mind.
Maybe the women's IC.
Maybe. But, I think what I tried to do with this is just build Chelsea's redemption. So Chelsea overcoming Tiffany's bullying and her own insecurities to reclaim the championship and establish herself as that top-tier babyface. I tried to use Tiffany as the top heel, the villain, the entitlement, a cunning, making her a really compelling foil. And then the United States Championship prestige is what I really tried to do. So the feud elevates the title as a symbol of hard work and resilience, lays the groundwork for future stars. And I think this storyline ensures an emotional investment and a satisfying payoff. Room for both women to go on post-WrestleMania and do something. But I think to begin with, why should I care about the United States Championship? And I wanted, maybe it's not as much about the United States Championship as it is about Chelsea Green's redemption and Chelsea Green's comeback. And that's what makes the United States Championship so special, because it's special to Chelsea. It's special to us.
Yeah.
And that is my pre-book.
Oh, no. Great pre-book, but you know what? I'm going to have to just give you the rating straight out.
Okay.
And just like last time,
we're going to count along.
Yep, we're going to count along. It is, of course, banger after banger after banger after banger.
Ooh.
After banger.
5 bangers, get in!
And there's a reason why I give it 5 bangers.
Why do you give it 5 bangers, Matt?
The reason why, because all the things that you just said about it, you were all correct. There's one little thing you actually inadvertently missed off.
Oh, go on.
That you accidentally actually in the actual pre-book.
Go on.
And you might not have realised it. Who's her partner in real life?
Cordona.
Yeah. It's almost similar to when he won the IC.
Yeah, I suppose it is kind of close, yeah.
It's kind of close, but in her own way of doing it.
Yeah. I really like the idea of...
But the difference is, with Cordona, it was a sudden moment.
Yeah.
With Chelsea Green, how
The
you did
build.
that, it was the build to the moment.
I really wanted to do my frame my thought.
Yep.
My inspiration for this feud was Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, when Nia was the babyface and Alexa Bliss was the heel.
Yeah.
And Alexa Bliss was bullying Nia.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the roster on who would be that classic Mean Girls villain. And Tiffany Stratton fits that bill perfectly.
Yeah.
Which is why I used it. And I used her with... obviously she had the Money in the Bank as well, so you got that shock and surprise as soon as she wins the title. So it all sort of fit for me. But I think if that happened towards WrestleMania, I would be... Next year we'd be talking about Chelsea Green being my number one pick for WWE active women's wrestler. Do you know what I mean?
If that actually now officially does happen, WWE, where are the checks? If that actually happens,
listen, they've got a much cleverer team than me, but that's just what I'd do, right?
If that suddenly happens now, you know I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be literally.
Oh, hold on, my phone's going. It's just Paul. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, love it.
Good. That was pre-book this.
Well, that's another red hot episode of The Burning Truth live in the books. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you've had as much fun listening as we did breaking it all down.
If you want to keep the conversation alive, find us on Twitter at TBT Live UK, Instagram at The Burning Truth, and Facebook at The Burning Truth. Plus, you can catch all our episodes and our live reactions to NXT and major event predictions on YouTube at The Burning Truth 251. Got questions, feedbacks, or ideas? Email us at info@theburningtruthuk.com. And here's a sneak peek. We're officially joining Blue Sky soon, so stay tuned for updates on how to find us there for even more exclusive content and wrestling chat.
And don't forget, like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It helps us more and more being found and discovered by new wrestling fans, old wrestling fans, and of course, also check out our website, theburningtruthuk.com, for even more updates and exclusives. So with that being all said, until next time, stay hyped, enjoy every moment in the squared circle, and DSTBA. And in case you don't know what that means, that does of course mean, don't forget to be awesome!
Excelsior! Psst, it's Scott. Did you rate and review the podcast yet? Cheers.